Love, that's a pretty important topic. And it's really easy to say the words, and it's really easy to grasp in our mind why it's important to love. And we can have amazing conversations about love and the change that it makes and what an incredible thing it is without it ever really touching our heart. That's what the mind is capable of doing. But where love is so transformative is when it really comes from your heart. And the time that it matters, the time that it actually, love really does its work, is the time when everything inside you is saying, no, that's not appropriate for this situation. When something inside you is hurting, you feel rejected, you feel people are not treating you the right way, you feel that life isn't treating you the right way, you feel that this behavior, it might be at work, it might be at home, this is not only for home, is not how things should be. And we automatically go into some kind of rejection or withdrawal or cutting off. It's that way that we cut ourselves off. And then we head quickly into the mind, get very busy with our head, all the reasons why this isn't right, or this person's not doing the right thing by me, or the way this person is behaving is affecting me and it's not okay. And I don't know, I feel so familiar with all those thoughts, all those ways that I can go round and round and round in my head, and I think everybody else can, about this just isn't working, this isn't right, it's not okay. It's not okay that you're like this with me. I need something different. This is hurting me. This is no good. All that stuff. And it's all feels very compelling, and it feels very true and very right in the moment. But what I've noticed, and it takes something to be able to do this, what I've noticed is that if I can actually genuinely let go of all that stuff and say, no, it would be better to love in this situation. And it's usually I don't want to. Like I'm feeling very self-justified and self-righteous. And I don't want to love. I want to feel that I'm right. And I want to justify my own thoughts. And I want to prove to myself almost that I'm right and the other person is wrong. And it can be very, very strong. And it's in those moments, if you can actually come into your heart and really touch into love, that you see situations melt. You see healing take place that is absolutely impossible when you're in that place of self-righteousness or rejection or withdrawal. The difference is so strong, and it's so effortless in a way. When love is there, it's effortless for change to happen. But when the love isn't there, you work hard at it, you can even relax, you can do all kinds of things. And it just doesn't really seem to work. So there's a power in love, which is, to me, it's a very important part of being a human being. It feels like one of the main things that we're here for. Maybe it's the main thing that we're here for. And part of the attempt to reject it, and therefore to reject people and reject yourself, is because we get very caught up in what we're doing. And it feels like to go into that love thing now when I'm busy and I've got stuff to do and I've got things to achieve and I've got things that I need to get on with. It feels like love is going to slow me down. I don't have time for that. Like, I've got time for that later when it's convenient. And so there's this resistance. Like, okay, I know it's important, but I'll do it later. I do care, but when it's convenient for me. So it's not always convenient to love, or it doesn't feel it, but it changes the dynamic of your life. That's convenient. That's convenient because it works. So actually, it's very expedient. It's very practical. It works. It actually works better than all that stuff that goes churning around in the mind. And it heals as well. It heals you, and it heals other people. When you decide to simply to love and to be quiet with that, to stop trying to fix everything, stop trying to sort people out, stop trying to take over their lives, actually. That's usually what we're doing when we're trying to sort people out. Just take over their lives and think, I know how to live your life better than you do, so just let me do it all for you, and then everything will work out. But it's weird, it just doesn't work very well that way. And we can let go of all that fixing and sorting and another version of being right. And I can see what's right for you. And I know what you need. And I know what would be really good for you. And come back into our heart and just love. And that enables other people to wake up for themselves. And then they don't need all your fixing, because they can access their own power and their own inner life and their own inner strength and their own inner life. It doesn't mean you don't help people. It actually means you do help people. But you help people in a more powerful way. So it's really simple. The message is love is more powerful. It is simply more powerful in its own right. It gives power to everything that you're doing. So it makes your mind more powerful, less active, because it doesn't have to do so much. If it's more powerful, then the mind doesn't have to work so hard to get solutions, because you get solutions with this bigger power. It makes you more powerful. You don't do so much. It's a quieter kind of power, but more gets done. And so that's easier for you. But the only bit that's not so easy is that switching of it, that switching it on, because when we get into that place of rejecting and self-righteousness, that's the last thing we want to do. We just don't want to switch it on. It's really simple. And so that takes a kind of courage, and it's an inner decision. Sometimes there's a bit of a struggle. But if you know that it's the right thing to do and you make that decision, and you fight for love rather than fighting for yourself and fighting to be right, you'll find it. You'll feel that softening, that something will give in you. And I said in the activation, it changes the air between you. So either it changes the air between you and the other person or other people with whom you're being self-righteous, or it changes the air, so to speak, between the part of you that's rejecting another part of you. I had a client who was the managing partner of a big consultancy, one of those big global consultancy partnership kind of organizations. And I remember when we were doing the love program last year, and she wrote me an email saying how she was bringing love into every communication she had in the office. And she just made it the foundation of everything that she was doing. Such a different attitude. And she described how it changed her relationship. And I'm sure that it's changed the whole atmosphere. throughout the organization. She was right at the beginning of her new role at that time. But it was just so nice to see how she was exploring that. And when you get in those sorts of tangled situations with work, you'll see that there's very little love around. And that's a time when you really feel too busy for love. It's like there's no room for love here. Far too much to do. But if you can make that change, if you can find it, it enables you then to do the right thing. It enables you to find the path forward. It enables you to know what to do. It also enables you to know what not to do, what you don't need to do, because an awful lot of the activity that we do in work, most people do, is activity for activity's sake. It's, again, part of that self-justification, proving your value to yourself. I've got so much to do, I'm so busy. And it makes us somewhat irrational, and we don't always make very wise decisions about what's actually necessary and useful to do and what doesn't really need to be done at all. And when you connect with love, it enables you to see things like that much more clearly, because it brings you in touch with the underlying energy of life. So it brings you in touch with the source of creativity, the root of your creativity. And so you become automatically creative. And your thoughts, when you're experiencing love, your thoughts are creative. And because you're connected with love, it's a very powerful creativity, because it's not blocking the creativity of life. When we connect with rejection and withdrawal and all that cutting off, we're cutting off life. And so, although, yes, we can kind of, through our negativity, create more negativity, that's limited. There's a limit to how much negativity you can create. There comes a point where you implode. You can't live beyond a certain level. Sure, some people can create a lot of negativity before they reach that point. Most of us couldn't possibly do as much as that. We're not that bad people, and we would implode a long time before. But the point about feeling negative, being cut off from love, is that it doesn't have a lot of power in it. But when you're connected with love, that is connecting you with the power of creativity. So every thought you have becomes a reality much more easily. Every feeling you have magnifies that manifestation power. If you stop just now and really feel, what does that mean? What is it? What's the change that happens when I connect with love, when I feel that softening in my heart? When I let that be my inner position, especially in relation to all the stuff that makes you not love. So now's a good time to do it. Do it in relation to your to-do list. All the things you have to do, all the projects you have. Do it in relation to the activities that are coming up that you find challenging, that are really demanding, that will push you. Do it in relation to the activities, the difficult parts of it, the bits that you don't actually enjoy very much. Do it now. See if you can actually approach all of that with love and with creativity. Not just mental creativity, heart creativity, life creativity. See if you can actually feel and know that love for yourself in those activities that you don't particularly enjoy, or you feel very challenging, or you feel like maybe you're not, maybe you don't feel great because perhaps it's very, very hard work, or you have difficult people to deal with, or you have a lot of meetings to do. See what happens when you approach that with love, and that love includes you. Completely changes the whole picture. See what happens when that love really extends into your business. So allow it to expand out from you. It's an action. This is not just a feeling, it's an inner action. And let it absorb your business, all of your business. So all the different parts of it, especially the parts you don't like very much, are being touched by love. And watch what happens to your business. Feel that simplicity and softness, okay? So this is not a mental practice. It's genuinely opening your heart. And let it extend out to your clients, including tricky ones, including the ones that don't show up, including the ones you want to show up but haven't become clients yet. And let it extend to all the money in your business, the flow of money, including the money that hasn't been paid yet and should have been, including the areas, any areas where money feels tight. So where there's an empty bank account, or there are bills to be paid that haven't been paid. See if you can extend the love into those bills and into the people who haven't been paid yet. And let it extend into any people who work with you, your team, or people who work with you outsourced. And all the difficulties you may have with them. What happens when you touch all of that with love, when you make that decision inside yourself? And love will not tolerate things not being taken care of. So it won't let you continue to ignore bad relationships in your business, difficult clients, things not being dealt with. Love doesn't do that. Love tidies things up and deals with them properly and enables people to go to their right places, which might not even be with you. Love is not soppy. It's not weak. It's very strong. It's very powerful. So let it flow out into all the different parts of your business and into the future, into your vision, right the way across your vision. Let every part of it be touched.